let's pivot to a team that was beaten 3-0 over the weekend, having arguably,
Liverpool.
as rough as it is, a worse season than Chelsea.
What do we think of Liverpool? Shit. Sorry.
I mean, yeah. I think I'm going to center around. Is it time for Klopp to leave, or for them to get rid of Klopp? Is that the answer to all that's going on over in Merseyside?
Can I just say, we've said this 100 times. Firing the manager is never ever the perfect solution.
No.
It can be a hopeful part of it. Absolutely, we've seen it happen. We saw Sean Dyche over Frank Lampard. Look at that.
Sean Dyche. It's been one game, but yes.
It's one game.
Was Lampard getting that win against Arsenal? I don't think so.
That's true. So. That's a very good point. It also was a set piece goal, but that's okay.
Exactly. Who doesn't love Sean Dyche? That's we're not gonna get on that. Where was I? Right. Klopp. I come on, man. I think firing is a little bit of a jump there. Let's be honest.
I think I don't think he should be fired. I think one more year of this, if they don't get European football, in any capacity, or if they don't get Europa and higher, and if he does it for one more year, then it's gone. Then he should just be done.
Absolutely.
I do want to bring up the fact though that where's Cody Gakpo? Where the hell is Cody Gakpo? He's been missing since the World Cup.
He has.
He's been having a stinker. 0 goal contributions in 6 games. He's 1 game away from being the next 007 after Jadon Sancho. Yeah, and I feel like I don't want to say he was supposed to save the team, but he was supposed to help. Mo Salah has been invisible. Mo Salah has been he got his bag and he's just done now. Sadio Mane was a big hit. No midfield. There's just no midfield over at Liverpool. That's not one. It may have been able to compete 3 years ago, but the same team can't compete right now. I don't know. Their center backs are ass. Let's be honest.
They're old. They're so old. That team is so old now.
It's such a struggle for them to move on. But at the same time, them attempting to move on, Cody Gakpo so far been abysmal. Darwin Nunez has been decent, but he needs more.
Bro, the goal, dude, I was watching the highlights. He should have passed to Salah and it would have been a tap-in, but he decided to shoot and went over the bar.
Of course. He gets his opportunities. He just can't finish them. Virgil van Dijk is not the defender he once was, and the center backs he has behind / alongside him, Joe Gomez and Joe Matip, not good enough.
Loves scoring goals though. Let's be real. Joe Matip loves scoring goals. No, not Joe Matip. Matip loves scoring goals.
Matip was good though. It's just like the form and confidence of all the players on that team are so low right now.
Yeah, there's a difference too, right? Like going into the transfer window, you can easily very much compare Chelsea to Liverpool, very easily, very easy. Different factors, key factors here and there, but very easy.
£600 million specifically.
I was gonna say not. I was gonna get there. That wasn't. That's what I was saying. Like the factors that differed. Andres, go hurt your back again. Go hurt your back again, Andres.
Dude, stop.
Just kidding. The things that differ between them, we just got a new manager. Liverpool has had a long-term manager, but both teams have a squad that they've had for like 2-3 years now that hasn't done anything since then, which both of us win in Champions League, right? But the difference now is that we've gone and spent or primed to spend 600, 500 million and bring the players we want in. Liverpool, what did Liverpool do? Who did they bring in? No one.
Cody Gakpo.
Besides Cody Gakpo.
Darwin Nunez.
Okay, but before the January transfer window.
Oh, well,
like,
okay.
Who did they bring in January?
Hold on, I think you're criticizing the wrong.
I'm saying it's a difference. I'm saying, of course, no one's going to be able to match Chelsea. I just mean they didn't do anything. They could have at least brought 1 or 2 players in to help with what's wrong. They didn't do anything. That's the difference. It's not that they didn't spend 600 million. They didn't do anything to help that. There's been nothing to change what's going wrong.
In all fairness, this team made the Champions League final a little over 6 months ago, or closer, almost a year. But
they did. But at the same time, it's like we're not looking at the team from last year. There's nothing's going right this year. Yeah. You gotta change you gotta change what's going wrong this year, not what went. Don't change it because it went right last year.
Okay, here's the thing. Form is kind of is an interesting thing. I think there's some players on this team that are in bad form, but when they're in good form, are still excellent and should still be kept. Like Trent Alexander-Arnold, like Mohamed Salah. They're in bad form right now, absolutely. But are they still phenomenal players at their best? Yeah. I mean, Mohamed Salah was scoring 30 goals in the Prem one season, or almost 30. Like he is extremely good, and trying to replace him in any way would be a dumb move.
Well,
It's just his form is poor.
That's what I'm trying to say, though. I'm not trying to say they need to replace the whole team, as in that Chelsea's trying to do. They don't. There are obviously players they don't need to replace. I think you don't replace Virgil van Dijk. You don't replace Trent. You don't replace Robertson. You don't replace Luis Diaz when he comes in. You don't replace Mo Salah. But there are things lacking in the team that need to change. That being the key thing is the midfield, and you make no change to that. If you bring one key piece in, and that can change the whole thing. Doesn't mean you gotta replace everyone, but that's what I mean. Like they didn't even try to bring. They didn't bring anyone in.
I think
that could impact it better.
There's a few things. Like I think their only good midfielder right now is Thiago.
Very underrated, by the way.
Another player, very underrated, very very good. But he can't one man the midfield. I think a good interesting point that I think people forgot about him. Fabinho has severely dropped off to the point where Klopp is starting. What's his name? Bezic, the youngster from the academy. I don't know how to say his name. I don't know his name. My screen's name, but they're starting that youngster over him in most games now. Where Fabinho was one of the best defensive midfielders. I mean, arguably was the best in Liverpool's prime, and has completely dropped off. And so there you lose a star player like that, and that hurts immediately. And the thing is, they weren't even trying to focus on defensive midfielder. They're trying to focus on Wijnaldum's old position and trying to replace someone there. Maybe Keita gets injured like every other day, so they can't play him.
And I think, this goes back a year or two. I forget when he left, but they never should have gotten rid of Wijnaldum. By the way, it was such a poor decision. I mean, and you're right. I mean, form is a big thing, right? But I think the way Liverpool's season's been going, it's a little bit deeper than form for me. You can be out of form for however many games, 5, 10, 15 games. But when it goes longer than that, then it's just like, okay, there's something that needs to be changed. You can't just be like, they'll be back in form soon. Like, they'll get over it, which they may, but you're Liverpool Football Club. You can't afford to just be like, just wait. Like, you should be winning things. Your fans expect you to be winning. The rest of the league's fans kind of expect you to be winning at this point. So while I definitely agree that form is a strange thing and can do a lot to the team, this is way deeper than form for me. I'm looking through the results throughout the whole year, and I'm like going through. I'm like, wow, like so inconsistent. And I've made it back to the beginning of the season, and nothing's changed from what I was saying.
I remember last season they weren't consistent either yet. Pretty sure they were losing games they shouldn't have been losing. Like I think it started last season as well. I think the league started showing, and then this season it was completely like on full display. But also, I think we're taking the wrong approach, guys. I think the real reason is the pitch and the lights in the pitch in the stadium. I think that's the real reason they're doing so bad.
The wind, it gets windy over there.
It's windy. The lights turned off at the stadium at one point. I mean, guys, let's be real. It's not the players. It's not Klopp. It's been the pitch. It's not their fault. Yeah, I don't know what to say.
I'm looking at the results. They just lost to Wolves 3-0. They lose to Brighton, very good side. Draw to Chelsea. Lose to Brighton before that. Draw with Wolves in the FA Cup. Lose to Brentford. Barely beat Leicester on 2 own goals, by the way. I just saw something. Wout Faes, the dude who scored the 2 own goals, has scored more than any player. Yeah, he scored more than any Liverpool player since the World Cup. Lose to City, lose to AC Milan, lose to Lyon, beat Liverpool. Beat Tottenham. Lose to Leeds, lose to Nottingham Forest. Sorry, but it's just like it's again, like I said, you can be in bad form. Everyone goes through bad form every once in a while, but at some point you need to look at it and be like, okay, we can't rely on them. They're not a reliable team to get out of their funk. You have to fix something. And that goes back to me saying that they could have at least tried to change it in the January transfer window a little more. And of course, no team in the world, bar maybe one, that being PSG, can spend like Chelsea just did with their owners. I'm not saying that they need to do that, but they could have bought a new midfielder or something. They know what the injuries are doing to their team, and I think, I mean, to me, I think they're waiting for Jude Bellingham in the summer. That's it.
Mhm.
They're just
Why
waiting.
wait
But
though?
well, one, he wouldn't come anyway. They can't spend on him anyway right now. They would want to wait for people to leave and for more funds to be available, blah, blah. But at this rate, if you're performing like this, would you even want to go to Liverpool over a Real Madrid, a City, a Chelsea, whatever? Like, I don't think like, if that's what their plan is, why wait for him just to not get him, and then you're just throwing the season away? I don't know. I feel like Liverpool have been very, very trusting in what brought them success a few years ago. I mean, even 6 months ago. And I think it's not working. Obviously, like they need to.
I think Klopp just got to go. I think he's just got to. I think his tactics has been found out. I think it was noticeable in the past season, but this season I think teams have really figured it out. And plus, it's just the players are too freaking old. Like, yeah, you'll let players leave, but then you'll have a massive squad to fill. I mean, their bench is already so. We've talked about this before, but their bench is small already. And then you let players leave who are old, then you're gonna have to spend even more money on replacement players. So might as well just in that January transfer window bought replacement players, just like small fees here and there, just to have players in the first place. Yeah, they're not gonna be like great quality, but they'll do the job, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
that goes down to recruiting and scouting and money.
I'm just gonna name off. Like, I'll name. I think Liverpool have unknowingly dug themselves in this hole over the years, just by relying on their solid players, which is okay because you should be able to rely on these players for this long. They're still young. Everyone's still young. The key players are still young, but I think it's just like, oh, what happens when they all get out of form at the same time? I'm gonna name off the team against Wolves that they played. They started the front three was Cody Gakpo, Darwin Nunez, Mo Salah. Beginning of the season, you're like, holy crap! That's could be arguably a top 2-3 attack in the league. Midfield is Thiago, Bajcetic, I don't know, Naby Keita. Solid. There's no qualms about elderly players, and you don't got to worry about that. And their backline is Andy Robertson, Joe Gomez, Joe Matip, Trent, and Alisson. This should be a team that's firing on all cylinders because they have been for years now, and it's not. And I don't want to say Klopp out. I don't want to say Klopp out because I'm a Chelsea fan. Of course, I know. I've seen plenty of times what happens when you let a manager go too quickly, and it never ends up well. But I don't know.
For the culture, I say Klopp out.
For the culture.
For the culture.
For my controversial opinion, Klopp out.
I mean, their bench. Okay, I'm gonna name off the players on the bench too, right? James Milner needs to go. That's given. James Milner needs to go. He has heart, but he doesn't have the physical ability to back up that heart. Jordan Henderson, solid, but not the player he was. He's got to go. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain has never been the player he was supposed to be. I personally, he's good, but I don't know why they're still relying on him as if he is that player that he was supposed to form into. Curtis Jones could be very good. Harvey Elliott could be very good. Tsimikas, the left back, decent, but
solid in FIFA.
But they're treating him like he became the player he was supposed to be. Same with Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and then youth players: Carvalho, Nat Phillips, and then Kelleher. I think they need to take time and sit down and look at this team selection and either improve it or figure out why it's not meshing well, or unmeshed because it was meshing well. I don't know. All these players, like a lot of Liverpool star players, at one point, you could make the argument for they were all the best in the world. Trent Alexander-Arnold, at his height, was arguably a top 3 right back in the world. Andrew Robertson, in his prime, was best left back in the league. Mo Salah, at his time, was top 2, top 3 winger in the world. Virgil van Dijk, undisputedly, the best center back in the world. And it's all gone to hell. I do feel bad for Liverpool fans too, because with the team they had, it's so unfortunate that they had to have as good of a team as at the same time that City did. Yeah. Liverpool should not only have one sorry ass Champions League trophy from the game. I'm sorry. It was just, I mean, and one title. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They built a
I have no
fantastic team. And they
sympathy.
should have.
No sympathy. I enjoy this downfall. I really do.
I
It's
mean,
funny.
I know. I love seeing like this every day. It's a tweet. You're a sick man if you like seeing Liverpool. If you like seeing this Liverpool
Fuck
downfall.
no. I
And then
love it.
all the comments are just pictures of someone in like a hospital bed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that. I saw
Yeah.
that. I saw that.
Which I mean, like, I don't. For the culture, I don't want to see it because I like having every team be at their best at all times. It's just like
Fuck no. I like those 3
it's
points.
an open space for
3
another team to
3
go in.
points. Or a point. I like that idea.
There we go. I was gonna say like for West Ham.
1 or 3. 1 or 3. 1 or 3. Sorry, I'm still on the high from this weekend of a point from Newcastle. Okay, that was one of our best performances this season, so I'm still on that high.
Fair.
Hey, you do you, man.
Yeah.
You do
Hey.
you. Have you played
Hey,
Liverpool
Warren.
this year?
Yeah, we lost.
Yeah.
We don't talk about it.
Oh.
We can though. We can talk about it once I find it right here.
No, that's fine. What's the next topic? Guys, Wrexham predictions for the on.